there's a lot of whispers about this particular studio and a lot of curiosity from me, Tash Bunny here at Indie Wavemakers over at Gamescom Asia. Today is day number 2, and with me I have Zain, and he is going to be walking me through his game from Orge Head Studios. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Tasha. Thank you for having me. So yeah, we are Orge Head Studio. We are based in India. I founded the company in 2014 to make games inspired by Indian mythology
I
and
love
culture.
that.
Yeah, from India to the world basically, and
Yeah.
that was the whole idea behind the development of the studio. And we made our first game called Asura. It released in 2017.
Asura, I think I may have heard of your game, and
Yeah.
I remembered I was very curious about it. That was a very, very beautiful game.
Thank you. That was our first game.
Yeah.
This was a hack and slash roguelike. 2 people made it back then.
It's only 2 people. How
Yeah.
long did that take?
That took us 3 years to make.
3 years.
Yeah.
It's actually quite fast with just 2 people, actually.
Yeah. We had a couple of contractors who were working on the side, but for
Yeah.
the most part, it was just 2 people. And then once we did that, this is our second title basically, and
second
this
title.
is in a short form. This is a this is a turn-based deck builder.
Turn-based what?
Deck builder.
Deck builder?
Yeah. So it's like a card game with some
Is
So
it kind of like Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts?
it's like Slay the Spire, Into the Breach, and then with our own flavor. and
Ah,
mythology
okay,
and
I
things
like that. So I'm glad to see more Indian developers here
Yeah.
at Gamescom Asia. I interviewed Raji just yesterday, and I loved the game. And I saw a little bit of your game earlier just now as well, looking at your first build. I mean, this is your first build?
Yeah, this is our
Your
first build, first demo build.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Do you mind us moving your mic close to your mouth a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
All right,
It's
sorry
a
about
little
that.
bit soft. And then, I saw a little bit of your character design. The first thing I thought was, that is beautiful. That is definitely the representation that I would love to see India share to the world. So let's talk a little bit more. This is called Yodha.
Yodha, yeah. So we don't have a trailer yet. We are still we are still in development. So I'll just take you through the game. I think that'll be the fastest.
Right.
So I'm just gonna start. So in Yodha, you play as the Rishi character. Rishi means a sage, a priest.
Right.
And he has come to the temple because there has been a demonic invasion in the world.
Right.
So he has come to the temple to summon the Yodhas. Yodhas means warriors.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the statues. At the moment, I have 3 Yodhas I can summon.
3 statues that you can summon.
3
warriors.
statues who I can pray and then summon the gods, basically.
Right. So do you have to do you eventually have I don't know, 10
Exactly.
warriors walking behind you?
You can unlock more Yodhas. You can have a party of 3 always.
Ah, okay.
So you come here. Basically, this is your character screen. This is where you select your roster of your character, basically.
Right.
So each of these 3 characters are based on a class, an archetype. So let's choose Yaksha first. So
that is the one I wanted to look at because I think that they had my favorite type of character design, especially the antlers. I love that.
Yeah, so she is basically a Yaksha. Yaksha is a forest nymph. She is basically the goddess of nature, basically.
Right.
So, and she is also she's the magic archetype.
Right.
She's the mage, basically.
Oh, the mage.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to summon her.
Oh, wow, she's beautiful.
So yeah, that's Yaksha. Again, all these characters are just based on Indian folklore. They are not actually from the mythology. So the way we try to say stories is basically saying that we are inspired by Indian folklore, not directly based on that.
Right.
So yeah, this is the Manusha. He is the god of war,
Right.
and he is like the strength archetype. So he deals strength damage.
Right.
Last but not the least is Gajdant. He is the god of protection and wisdom.
Yeah.
So let me summon him. So he is the healer archetype.
I
basically.
love Gajdan. I feel like Gajdan is definitely one of the Indian, I would say,
Yeah,
lores
Ganesha.
Ganesha that I see a lot at the temples, even in my country, Malaysia.
Yes.
So it definitely feels like it hits a little bit more close to home, seeing him. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the whole idea, right, behind the studio as well. Instead of seeing always Hercules, Zeus, and all these characters, we want to have some of our own flavor into the game.
So
since we have the characters ready, let's begin the journey. At the moment, so as soon as I summoned these characters, I got cards inserted in my deck.
Yes.
So each of these Yodhas have cards associated with it. So Yaksha has 2 magic cards, Manusha has 2 strength cards, and Gajdant has 2 healing cards.
Right.
So with our cards ready, let's just begin our journey, basically.
I see. So this is where you pick the areas that have been
area.
unlocked.
Yeah.
How big is this game going to be, you think?
So basically, it's a roguelike.
Yeah.
So a session to finish would be approximately 4.5 hours, just a session.
Wow.
But but the amount of things that you can unlock, like the entire 100 to 100% it'll take about 12 to 15 hours
12
basically.
to 15 hours of gameplay
Yeah,
for this game.
yeah, that is me saying in between development. I don't know how many more things we'll add.
Yeah,
basically.
eventually you're gonna add more and more and more. It becomes an 8-hour game.
Yeah. You know. So yeah, I'm just gonna skip the story for now. So let's just begin the journey.
Yeah, I'm okay with skipping the story because you don't want to spoil it.
Exactly, and it's not flushed out yet. It's just for the demo's sake, basically.
Right. So this demo is not out yet.
No.
Okay.
So we were not even in the B2C section. We were in the B2B section.
Okay.
So we are not here. So we are very early. Basically, we are very picky on showing because it's not finished yet. It's not polished yet.
So how long into development is this game?
It's been 2 years now with this build, basically. Yeah.
Right. For the first build, it took you 2 years. And how many people are in your studio?
So the entire studio is 11 people,
11
but 4
people.
people are working on this, including me.
Wow, 4 people on this. There must be a lot of love put into it as well. And what inspired you to create the story of this game?
So in the first game, the base idea is always to kind of get inspired by the Indian folklore.
Yeah.
But then with this game, the whole game design idea was to make a turn-based game without any RNG. So without any randomness and without any, it's like chess basically. You can see what is happening and you should react to it.
Right.
And we also wanted to, I'm a big CCG fan, so
this is why you wanted to do a card turn.
So I wanted to infuse that with the mythology as well. So somehow, and the way we have done it, you can see that we have just not, it's not just a veneer. Like the cards is just not a random mechanic that's in the game, but we have actually tried to incorporate into the gameplay as well.
Right.
Which I'll show you.
Alright, this is going to be really exciting because the only card deck game I've played is Chain of Memories Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So this is going to be very new to me.
So this is how the initiative system works. So you have your characters, this is your speed stat, and then when you add your speed stat, you get this total number.
Right.
Whereas this is your enemy's team, enemy has a lower speed stat, so you go first basically.
Right. So let's see how it's going to go. So you get to build it before you go into the game?
The deck, no, you have a default deck, and it's the core idea of the game is that as you keep on going, you keep on adding cards into your deck. So it's a deck builder.
Right. Okay, so it's not like kind of like you go out of the battlefield and then you have to go and fix your cards.
No.
I like that because I think I spend way too much time figuring out what cards I want to have in my deck, and I don't really know how to, like my problem with a lot of the card games I have is that I don't really understand each card properly to be able to utilize it, right?
Especially in the start, right?
Yes.
Like you don't have any starting deck. You have to draft a deck and it becomes overwhelming, basically.
Yeah.
But here we give you a starting deck, which is a weak deck actually, and then as you progress, you have to make decisions to insert new cards into the deck.
I like that.
And that's the whole point, basically. That's why it's called deck builder. So you build the deck as you go on, as you move forward, basically.
It's such a great game for beginners, actually, if you think about it. So I'm not so overwhelmed about it.
So this is your deck. This is just showing you what you have and what the enemy has, so that you can get a sense of what the this thing will be, what the battle would be.
Yeah.
And then I start. Everything is shuffled, and the game begins basically. So on the left side you see our hand. This is our cards, and this is the enemy cards.
You can see their cards too.
You can see their cards, and you can see the moves that they'll make basically. So you need to react. So he's gonna heal himself.
Right.
And this guy is gonna corrupt the forest basically. So you have limited corruption. And you need to make sure that if the corruption increases to full, then he's gonna insert one card into your deck.
Oh.
So he kind of spoils your deck basically. So like the whole idea is deck building, right? So you have to make an optimal deck basically. But he will stop you from doing that.
Right.
So that's the idea. So here no one is going to damage you, so you know that.
Yeah.
But there's some other things that can happen basically. So let me just, since this is the first battle, let me just show you how the battle. So in Indian mythology, generally these gods, they would never have the weapons on them. Rather they would summon the weapons.
Oh, okay.
So these cards basically are the summoning vessels.
Oh, that's smart.
So when you click on this thing, so he summons the weapon, and now you can inflict the damage on it. Same thing goes for Yaksha. So there's also strength armor, magic armor. So you need to counter, so because he has a purple armor, your purple damage won't go through until you negate that armor first. So I'll just do that right now.
Okay, so it's a double hit for her though.
Yeah, double hit. But now it's all negated. So but he's gonna heal himself, and then they're gonna corrupt.
Right. Okay, so we got one more card back.
Yeah, no, I always have to have 4 cards at the end of the turn, so I drew that, and then he's gonna play it. So.
Oh, okay.
So you can see one corruption. Again, there's VFX pending. So it's still early in development. So there's some things which are missing.
Yeah.
But I hope yeah, people understand that. And so yeah, now yeah, the enemy is going to do 1 damage. You can see he's pointing towards him when and then he's gonna inflict bleed on the Manusha character. So you know that your Manusha character is gonna get hit.
Right.
So again, we don't have many cards to, at the moment at least, to react to that.
Yeah.
But at least we can finish him off. Now we need. So 1 more damage.
Oh, wow.
So you have your energy as well. So
Yeah.
it's not like you can keep on casting the abilities.
Right.
You have like limited energy, which is shown on top of the head. So you can see 2, 2, 2, 2. Everyone
Yeah.
has 2 energy basically.
So
And
basically it's just 1 card per use, or rather the number of energy on the card is corresponding.
exactly. So
Right.
even though I have 2 holy hammers over here, I can only use 1 right
Yeah.
now. So I need to upgrade my character's energy.
Right. So the stronger your character, the more energy they have, and
They
the more moves they'll be able to execute. That.
Exactly. And
Alright.
so I'm gonna kill this guy. He's dead.
So like you said one playthrough is about 4 hours, which
Yeah.
is basically the 1 map basically.
No, not 1 map. That's the entire. That's like a camp. It's like if any roguelike, you can't quit. I mean, you can quit. You can save the game, but if you die, you start all over again.
Ah, okay.
So
So
that-
basically, you gotta do a run through that's flawless without dying.
Yes, without dying, without losing, basically.
Without losing.
Your enemies, one of your Yodhas can die. Even 2 can die, but not all. If
Not
all
all.
dies, you lose the campaign, basically.
Your main character can die too.
No one touches your support. The human. He runs
Right.
away.
So okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there.
He's over here, right? He runs away and then he goes back to the temple and summons them again.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So yeah, the main character is just a support character, but he has some astras that he can use.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can do that. So once you finish a battle, this is what I was talking about, the deck building. So you can now choose. These are randomly drawn from a
Yeah.
collection, and now you can choose 1 astra into your deck.
Right.
So this is the deck building part, where you
Yeah.
have to make sure that you try to build the deck as optimal as possible. So in this case, let me just choose Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
And I'll just add it to my deck. So that's been added. I get some items that I can collect. I can even equip ornaments. So I'll just equip this ornament.
Ooh,
Right
that's
now,
so good.
Yeah, so you do all your you can't do anything during battle, like you can't equip items and use potions during battle.
Yeah.
But you can do that after battle. So during this stage, you would want to prepare for the next battle, and then so it's a roguelike again, and it
Yeah.
has randomly generated content.
Yeah.
So we don't exactly know how the map is going to be built. So I'm taking a side quest right now, not
Right.
a side quest, but a side path.
Right. How
And,
do you know which path is a side path and which one is the
So
main
if you
path?
see when there was a node basically when I
Yeah.
clicked,
Yeah.
and see I encountered a merchant. This is random.
Yeah.
When you play, you might not encounter him.
Oh,
you might
it's kind of like Hades,
Yes.
where you walk into the next room, you don't know what's going to come into the next room.
Here we give you a hint on what
Yeah.
is going to come,
Yeah.
but not exactly. So our first game also was roguelike.
Yeah.
It was like this, but it was slightly different.
Right.
Here, your story builds, and so this is a merchant that you have visited.
Yeah.
He is super sneaky. Even though the world is in chaos, he still wants to make money, apparently. And so you have encountered him, and then if I click on him, I can get some more items, basically. So I have my gold, so I can click.
I see. So basically then you can
Equip.
put it in if you want to.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So I have now 2 more areas that I can choose where I need to go to, basically.
Right.
So this is just hinting you what you will get over there. The more
Yeah.
you play, the more you start understanding what these icons are.
Yeah.
So I'll just click this. Go on to the next one.
Oh, that's awesome. So is the cutscenes gonna be like kind of like what we saw earlier? It's kind of like character, and then like there's a text there. It's
Yeah,
not really
that-
like animated.
That is the dialogue cutscene, and
Yeah.
then there'll be other small cutscenes as well,
Ooh.
which is kind of difficult to do because we are a small team. But
Yeah.
there'll be limited amount of them as well. Like when you enter the battlefield, you can see a bit of cutscenes
Yeah.
that we have done basically. So
Right.
we are hoping to get that done. But for the most part, the dialogues and everything, it'll be the way you saw, like a portrait.
Yeah.
basically. So
I mean, a lot of games do take that. I think it's a really good way to engage with the character and really show more detail about how the character looks like as well, which is very, very fun.
yes, and you know, I'm responsible for the characters. Like
Right.
I myself make the characters. In this camera you can't see the characters much, so that camera is where, you know, we can show all the glory of the character design as well. So
Yeah, that's very, very good. So like, basically this is the first area.
yeah,
and-
this entire
Yeah.
area is called Ancient Forest.
Yeah.
And you come here. Yeah.
Right, so I mean, you did say that you are going to be adding more areas soon as well, which I'm guessing is going to be a change in scenery. Are you going to be including a lot more of, like, you know, the Indian sites and you know, sites and areas?
So yeah, I mean, basically what we are doing is that taking Indian biomes,
Yeah.
like Indian different environments, and then incorporating that. So this is the forest,
Yeah.
but the forest has been corrupted. So if you see south of India, right?
Yeah.
South of India is all forest basically. It's where I am from, Kerala basically.
So this is based on
So this
that
is based
area.
on that area. But again, we don't want to take anything literal from
Yeah.
the mythology of the place, but we
Yeah.
kind of make a fantasy version out of it.
Right,
So
right.
the second area is going to be desert based. Then there's, you know, different regions which are inspired by that basically.
So, what made you decide to go with these characters for the, you know, for the story? Like, you know, you said this is part of this folklore. So, what made you decide to choose these particular characters?
So always we have been again in, you know, we've always built our games based on gameplay.
Right.
You know? So what the gameplay required, we go back to the folklore and we see who can best use that as the, you know, archetype.
Right.
So for example, we knew that we needed a healer character.
Yeah.
So what we thought was that you know, Ganesha or
Yeah.
god of protection would fit well to
Yes,
will fit to that archetype.
that's perfect.
So that's how we have generally associated the gods and taken gods as inspirations.
Right, right, right. So coming into this game, I mean, you did say it's going to be 8 total of yakshas total you're going to bring into the game?
There are six total gods basically that you can unlock. So there is a side quest in the game where you can find statue pieces.
Ah.
So if you find statue pieces, you can go back to the temple, and then you can you know, build that statue. And then once the statue is complete, then you can pray and summon the new god.
Right, so kind of like 3 is already on default, and then another 3 is kind of like you have to go find them yourself.
Find them yourself.
I mean, I would do that because I remember back in like Final Fantasy, you know, there was like, you know, Vincent from Final 7. You
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
go into the side quest to find him, and then there was the summon in Final Fantasy 10. I forgot what it's called. Power? Anima. Yeah, you had to go into a temple side quest to get that, and I remembered like I really enjoyed doing those side quests to get the, you know, the summon because
Yes.
it was not only a little bit of challenge, but it was just so awesome feeling like, oh my god, I worked this hard to get this really hard character in the game to aid me in my story, you know? Yeah, so that was very, very fun as well. So I'm guessing that it will be a little bit more of a grind to get those 3 extra yakshas?
I mean, not grind, but you'll have to go at least one extra location to go there, and then
Yeah.
you'll have to fight as well. So you have to make sure that you're prepared, because if you lose, you start all over again.
Yeah, that would suck because it's like a 5 hour thing and then you almost get it and you lose. Oh man, I would be so mad. I would be so angry. So what about the bosses? What can we expect to see from the bosses and the enemies?
So bosses are basically inspired by the like, the enemies are Rakshasas basically.
Yeah.
So they are, again, but they are inspired, like I'm also inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and J.R.R. Tolkien. So you
Yeah.
can see a lot of eye and iconography and a lot of tentacles and things like
Yeah.
that, which are very Cthulhu based and this thing based. So,
Yeah.
but with regards to enemies, they are more of like, there are 4 warlords that we have created, which
Yeah.
are like the what do you call it? The commanders of hell, kind of.
Yeah.
But they are loosely inspired by the Indian pantheons as well. So if you clearly look, I don't want to spoil it, but if you
Yeah.
clearly look, you can see where the inspirations are. But that's what it is, and there is a whole underlying reason behind why these guys are doing what they are doing. Basically, it's not just that the demons have invaded.
Yeah.
There is a more deeper story, hopefully, in the game, which kind of drives the narrative forward. And one of the things that will happen is that, you know, it's not just that you're again and again playing the same game. The narrative is going to progress as well the
Yeah.
more you play, basically. So
Right.
it's not just like, okay, you're seeing the same story again and again. There are certain NPCs which can come in the temple.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then the NPCs can open up the world more, and then the new things that can happen the more you play. So even if you die,
Yeah.
there's always an incentive to play again, basically.
Right. Because I remember in Hades, every time you die, you get a 2% defense increase to make the game a little bit easier. So I thought that was really exciting. And there was also a dialogue every time you die as well,
Yeah,
right?
there was
So that
dialogue.
was kind of fun. Will we be seeing that, something like that at least for this game?
So we won't be making the game easy for you.
Okay.
Because again, it's not just like if I increase the defense and the game will be easy because it's
Yeah.
card based.
Yeah.
But what will happen is that every time you go back to the temple, something new will unlock for you so that you can explore.
I love
Even if
that.
it's small or big, there'll be something new that will open up. Basically.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about these kind of games is that you just, even if you die, you want to find those little tidbits, those extra little,
Yeah.
chats that come through as
Yeah, I
well,
mean-
because it's extra lore, right?
Exactly, and anyways, you want to play the game again. The lore just makes sure that you are finding something new along
Oh,
with the game.
wow.
So one of the things also that is interesting that we have designed is this kind of Astra stone.
Yeah?
So this basically you can craft your Astras further. So let's assume this gives you 1 health, right? With this stone, if I infuse it into here, now it gives you 1 health and 1 magic armor as well.
Wow.
So you can really craft your Astras if you don't like a certain Astra and if you want to enhance it, you can use these Astra stones and you find it's like I don't know whether if you have played Diablo or
Yeah, Diablo.
So if you see you get rune stones and
Yeah.
then you have sockets in your items and you
Yeah.
can equip them. So this is something that's our kind of rune stone.
I like
which,
that.
Which kind of it's not like your Astras will always be the same. You can upgrade them or you can even convert them into something else.
Oh, you can convert them
Yes,
into
yes,
something,
something
else.
else
So it's
as
kind of
well.
like a recipe if you think about it.
Yeah, but the problem with recipe was that then you will have to introduce grind and things like that because
Yeah.
then you have to collect 3 of this, 4 of this.
Yeah.
This is like a smaller, like an easier version of the recipe system where you see the Astra stone, you just equip it and it changes your weapons basically.
I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, I like the idea of like, sometimes I have a card that's not very powerful.
Exactly.
And with like maybe an Astra, it can become something that's really a lot stronger or something at least can supplement you. Because sometimes you don't always have the cards that you want, right? So I
Exactly.
really like that idea. So this is honestly a really great thing that you've come up with.
Thank you. And I'll show you another thing. So luckily I got a different side kind of location, which
Right.
is basically, I think it's a shrine.
A shrine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I pray to this shrine, again this shrine actually we just ripped off that statue and put it over there. We have to still make the shrine.
Oh, what?
So this shrine we still have to make it. We just took it from the temple, the one that
Oh,
you
so
saw.
you have to remake it.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
to still make it. It's still demo.
Yeah.
So ignore the artwork right now. But
Yeah.
so this shrine, if I pray to it, I'll get a new ability which is permanent for my profile.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. So the goddess has blessed you with Sanjeevani. Use this artifact to heal Yodhas at the expense of karma. So now after battle, I can use this ability to heal my characters as well.
Right.
So as you progress, and this is a permanent ability that I got. So
Right.
this is just because I went to a side path. So things like
Right.
this, new abilities which are permanent to your profile can also unlock as you play ahead. So your profile can be very different from my profile.
Right.
Your character can be a bit, it's not like we both can have the same one.
Yeah, because it depends on which path you get and what
Exactly.
you have on the side as well. And I love that you have that permanent ability unlocked as well.
Yeah.
Because it does give me the incentive to go to the side areas
Exactly.
instead of just zooming through the main quest, which
Exactly.
is awesome. Because at the end of the day, I think for a lot of people who kind of want to play these games, you want to get the strongest, I would say, setting or rather setup to meet the final boss.
Exactly.
So this is very, very fun. And I think that was another really good thing is that if my friend plays, I'm like, oh, what's your build like? Or what's your path like,
So even us basically, when we were kids, when we would go back to school, we would ask like, what Pokemon did you get? What did you explore?
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that it's not just the challenge of defeating the boss, it's also your journey basically. And then you can share that journey with other people. And
Yeah.
when you see someone else, oh, you have this statue, I have this statue, oh, you can find this, then they again go back and play the game hopefully.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's kind of a...
I would get really FOMO if I saw my friend have a statue that I wanted, I say Ganesha,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, I have been through this game 3 times. I didn't even see one Ganesha. And you got like Ganesha in your first try? That is so unfair.
Exactly, and that kind of helps the game have retention, and you go back to the game hopefully. That's the
Yeah.
idea. And also, once you unlock new levels, you don't have to finish the levels in a chronological order.
Oh, you don't?
No, so you can go to the second level first,
Yeah.
and then the first level second, and the difficulty will automatically balance itself accordingly.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So even though you're playing the game again,
Yeah.
and what happens is that if you go to this location as a second area,
Yeah.
the enemies have different abilities.
Oh, okay.
So even though you're playing the same game again, now you're seeing these same enemies slightly more stronger with a different ability. So it's
Yeah.
not just number crunching and things changing like that.
Yeah, I really like that. So now, can I see how the card that we infused worked just now?
Yeah, so the thing is that since it's going to be drawn from the Astras, I don't
Right.
have the control over. So
Oh, that's fair because that's the part where you have to wait for the card to get drawn,
yes,
right?
yes. So, so we got it. We got it now.
Okay.
So it's the enemy's turn right now. So let the enemy do its thing.
It's so annoying when he goes to the AoE. It gets
Yeah.
me so frustrated.
So basically, he has burnt kind of us all.
Oh, they're healing.
Yeah, they're healing as well. Oops.
Oh, is there a...
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So let me try. So yeah, you got the heal?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I pressed the wrong.
It's okay, it's okay.
I forgot this ability basically. Let me just try to defeat him though.
Yeah, just
So
kill him.
this is a skill. So earlier, if you see this, our main character never had the ability.
Right,
So
right.
now I chose a card basically which gives him that ability to cast. So he's going to support us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to increase her strength.
Oh, okay, that's the support skill as well.
Yeah. So you can. So your blessing is deeply appreciated apparently. So let's just. So this you can see we did not have this ability first. This is a magic character, right?
Yeah.
But I gave her a strength ability. So this is a new ability that you learn, which has its own kind of animations, and so you get to unlock every single card has its own animation,
Yeah.
own effects and things like that.
So like talking about your card ability and animation, how hard was it designing each card for each ability?
It's extremely difficult because we not only have to design the cards, we have
Yeah.
to then make the animation, make the
Yeah.
effects, and we have to, if it's a melee attack, then we have to make the weapon as well.
Right.
So if we make 100 cards, that
Yeah.
means 100 animations, 100 assets,
Yeah.
and 100 VFX.
Oh my god.
So that has been an insane part of the journey for this game. But
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you had fun creating these, regardless. And I'm sure that out of this, like I'm sure you're gonna have like multiple cards for multiple characters. How many cards do you think we'll finally have in the end of this game?
So we are planning 150 for Yodha, like not each Yodha, but all the Yodhas
150
basically.
for 6.
6 Yodhas basically.
That's not bad, but
That's-
still a lot though.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to the scope, that's a lot, but I think that should be the minimum.
Yeah.
And then what we can do is that we can keep on releasing for updates basically,
Yeah.
and that's the plan, to support
Right.
the game as long as possible.
Right,
Because
right.
you won't see these Astras just in one session, right? You'll have
Yeah.
to play more and you'll have to learn more Astras, and then only you'll be able to see. So.
Yeah, so I think that at the end of the day, it's going to be something really interesting. I can imagine that in order to have replayability, you're going to have so many different types of cards coming through as well to change the meta or how exactly the players approach the game.
Exactly, that'll happen, and even we can introduce new enemies which can change the meta. We can add bosses, characters, the statues, which can change the meta. So there's a lot of avenues on, improving, not only improving the game, but also giving new experiences to the player, basically.
Right. So now, since this game is not out yet, where can we find this game?
So right now we have a Discord channel where we have mostly kept it like closed doors, but right now we have a Discord called Orge Head Studio. So
Orge Head Studio.
Yeah, discord.gg/Orge Studio.
Right.
That's where you can join the community.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you can go to our website www.orgeheadstudio.com.
Right.
That's another place.
That's
So
where
please-
you can have the mailing list.
Yeah, that's the mailing list. That's also where we will be starting to put blogs and things like that.
Right.
And then you can find us on social media as Orge Head Studio, like Instagram, where if you're interested in how we are developing the game, then definitely you can check it out. So it's at all the places. It's at Orge Head Studio.
At Orge Head Studios is where you can be finding this game. Is there anything you want to say to people who are looking forward to this game, and when can we expect this game to be out?
It's another year and a half at least. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have people come join our Discord, join the conversation of how you think we should approach this. If you have any feedbacks, obviously there has been some bugs and glitches.
I mean, it's only your first build. I'm sure it will take time to get better, and I'm really excited for this as well. It's definitely a new approach for me when it comes to RPGs rather, because I'm so used to a hack and slash. So this is something that's I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you for that.
All right, guys. So don't forget that this is a game called
Yodha
by Orge Head Studios. Thank you so much, Zain, for coming up here on stage to share the game with us. And I think that this will be the end of the showcase. Don't forget, guys, to follow their Instagram as well. Sorry, their Instagram, their social medias, as well as join their Discord to find out more, because this is definitely a brand new way of approaching the, I would say, the epics of the Indian mythologies. Thank you so much, Zain.
Thank you, Tasha.
All right, so for now, don't go anywhere. After this, more indie Wavemakers and more interviews coming your way. So be right back.
I like it. I'm a cookie if I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm not a carbon copy. I'm the original. I'm dropping beats like honey. I like it. 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 If it's got to be